Hello, this is Curtis at Curtis Cut. Good afternoon. I'm just jamming out with my friend Meatloaf, who's singing about how he wants his money back because life is a lemon. I'm still working on Codependent No More. I appreciate everyone being patient with me. I know I'm taking a long time going through this. I wanted to finish the characteristics, and one of them is it's all or nothing thinking. Codependents often have that. I turn it on, I burn it up, and burn it out. So I went through the categories myself for my own personal things, and that's what I'm going to be dealing with today. I want to share with you what characteristics I have that are most strongly evidences of codependency, and then I also was going to finish the list of characteristics and hopefully explain what you can do with this information. I also wanted to give a shout out very quickly to Mama-san, who made a comment on Facebook. She was saying that she felt she had some of these characteristics, and I don't want to get too personal or anything, but Mama-san is one of the people in my life. I call her Mama-san because she's really one of the people who is as close to a mother as I've had. I really honor her in my heart. I hope that she knows what she means to me. I appreciate her comments very much. Okay, now to the rest of the show. I went through these categories myself, and I believe the biggest thing I need to work on is rejecting compliments and praise. It drives people crazy. I'm learning, I'm getting there, but it's hard for me to take compliments or praise. It's because I don't feel like I really deserve them. I feel like I also am afraid of getting a big head. Some of that's justified, some of it's not. But that's the biggest characteristic that I have. I need to stop equating life and love, for that matter, with pain. One of my favorite quotes from The Princess Bride, and there's some truth to it, but life is pain, and anyone who tells you otherwise is trying to sell you something. It's a great quote. It's a wonderful moment in the movie, and there's some truth to it, but there's also, that can't be all you have to life. You have to enjoy it, or it's not really, it is only pain if you don't focus on anything else. I live trying to prove that I'm worthy of love. In the back of my mind, I'm still hearing all the people who are calling me really not good things. A normal person doesn't really need to do that quite so much. They know they're lovable. Their parents showed them love. Their siblings showed them love. And I did have some siblings that showed me love, and my parents weren't perfectly bad, don't get me wrong. But in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking, I need to prove that I am lovable after all. I need to prove that those a-holes from the past were wrong. And really, I should just let it go and live my life. I apologize all the time. Even in these videos, I can't hardly help it. In the back of my mind, I feel like I'm imposing on you by being alive, by being here. I feel like I'm in your way. Maybe I am. But the truth is, if I am in the way, hopefully you're strong enough of a person to simply and politely say, hey, please get out of the way for now, and we'll have fun later. And the last thing is, I don't know, and a lot of codependents don't know what they want or need. You're so busy dealing with the needs of somebody else, whether it's the alcoholic, whether it's the just crazy person, whether it's the person with borderline personality disorder, or bipolarism, or the autistic. I have an autistic son. I love him, but he's so needy. You focus on those, you forget. You don't even hardly think about what you need or want, and it can become a problem. So the remaining characteristics, and I'll get through them. I'll try to keep this video under 16 minutes. I had made an earlier draft of it that was 16 minutes. I'll try to keep it under that. The remaining characteristics are weak boundaries. I used to say, and a lot of codependents will do this, I would say that I would not do or tolerate X, Y, or Z. I won't give specific examples. If you know me, then you probably have some idea what I'm talking about. And then I ended up in my marriage doing and tolerating the things that I said I would never tolerate. I tolerated things from my workplace that, frankly, my dad would have cleaned someone's clock. And I just took it. Now, probably it's not appropriate to clean someone's clock, but you don't necessarily have to take the abuse. Number 2 is lack of trust. One of my earliest lessons, and Dad told me this story about a father who basically let, he put a child on the table and come here, daddy will catch you, and then plop, he let the kid drop. I teach you that the bastard not to trust nobody. Well, it probably is a good thing to be careful who you trust, but not trusting anyone is also unhealthy. Yes, you have to be careful who you trust. And yes, you have to put boundaries, even on people that you trust. But you don't trust anybody, your life's going to be pretty dark. Just saying. Number 3 is anger. My ex said I had anger issues. Maybe. I mean, you viewers, most of you know me. Hopefully later I'll have a extended audience. But right now, pretty much everyone that's watching this knows me. Judge for yourself. But most codependents do have anger issues, and most of them are easily shamed. I am easily shamed about anger. If you hint that I'm angry, I almost immediately just feel this crushing shame. Because we believe falsely, we've been taught that good people never get angry. Now, I'm not wanting to debate theology, but there's an instance in the Bible where Jesus Christ, supposedly, depending on your theology, the best person that ever lived, he went to the temple and overturned the tables and called these people vipers and thieves. He turned my house into a den of thieves. He was angry. I know people who say, I'm not angry. Well, if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it may not be, but it's probably a duck. Jesus was angry. Good people get angry. Okay? Number 4 is sex problems. I won't go very far into that, but I will say this. If you're wondering what's the value of these videos and you're a codependent, improve some of your codependent tendencies, you might have a better time in bed. I'm just making a suggestion. 5 is the miscellaneous highlights, the little things that don't really coalesce too well into any one category, but are very common with codependents. Often we become martyrs when there's no need for martyrdom. They feel like they always need to be responsible. You may have seen a mother that makes a great big deal about making this great big dinner and making everything nice and good. And to a point, that's fine. It's great. But sometimes people are kind of like, man, I wish we could just relax and drink our soda and watch the TV. She doesn't have to be a martyr. Her children just want to be around her until she pushes them away. And I'm trying to generalize this and probably doing a terrible job of it, but that we feel like we always have to be responsible. You can't have fun. You must be responsible, like a Puritan from the days of old. I remember, and most of you will know who I'm talking about. I remember sitting at a dinner table. I was paying for the meal, and one of the people there was going, some people need to take on their responsibilities. And of course, none of us knew who was not taking on their responsibilities. They were paying for the meal, but they're not taking on their responsibilities. Codependents often have these unrealistic beliefs of what it is to be a responsible person. And that's a problem for them and for others. Often we're passive aggressive. I call this a dual cowardice because you're upset, you're angry, but good people aren't supposed to be angry. And so, but you got to show it somehow because they deserve it, darn it. And so you do it in this little cheap, cowardly way so that when they call you out on it, well, you're just being sensitive. I'm not upset. Now, if you're feeling bad, maybe that says something about your conscience. And there's probably truth going back and forth there. We don't seek help because the problems aren't that bad. And it's true that they're probably not that bad compared to being in a Nazi death camp or a prison or marooned on an island. But they're bad enough. You are important. And I want that to sink in. And if suffering is happening to you, even if it's just you, it's still important enough that you should seek help. I know help can be hard to find. I get it. Oh, trust me, I get it. But if you need it, you are worth seeking it out. And then, lastly of all, they don't seek help, but then they wonder why the problem never goes away. Okay, as it progresses, codependency can grow into, and I have great experience with this, both personally and with other people in my life. It can grow into serious emotional, mental, and physical illness. It can become a severe anxiety or depression or both. It can lead to suicidal or violent thoughts. And it can lead to the very alcoholism or addiction that they despise. And I remember I was tempted one time on my way home from work. I knew, who the drug runners were, the low-level ones in the town, because they were just open about it. It wasn't that I was any great detective. They just were open about it. And I was thinking, I could just turn this car around and go back and get drugs and get high and not feel any of this pain. Now, I didn't do it. But my point is, I finally I never before understood, but I got the temptation. I understood the temptation, why people become alcoholics, why they become drug addicts, why they become immersed in their problems. I didn't see it, but I was immersed in my problem. The problem won't go away just by wishing it. I can't remember the quote exactly, but in Firefly, Jane said something about how if wishes were horses, we'd all be eating steak. So I'll finish this up with the benefit of the video. If you're codependent, turn it around. Hopefully you're in the beginning stages. You can avoid those later stages. Believe me, you want to. You don't want to go all the way down the rabbit hole. If you're already there at the bad stages, still turn it around. It's not too late as long as you're still alive. We had a person at church commit suicide the other day, and I don't want to get too deep into that. I want to respect him and his family and his friends. And I was one of them, but I want to respect them. But part of me wishes that he had just reached out. None of us are better off for him being gone. And none of us will be better off for you being gone, whoever you are. Reach out. That's all I'm saying. So, if you like this video, it's barely going to be under 16 minutes. Please like it. Please comment. I absolutely do read the comments. I value them. I may not seem like it, but I'm trying to listen to everybody. All of you who at least everyone that I am sure is watching, you're all dear to me, and many other people as well. I'll continue with this book, whether I continue to review it or not. Please let me know if you want me to continue reviewing it. Again, this is Curtis Cut. Life is a lemon. I want my money back. Have a great afternoon.